Okay, so unsurprisingly, today Winston Shrout was found guilty of all 19 counts in his trial by a jury of his peers. So I thought it would be fun to read some of the comments that Winston Shrout supporters and followers have been leaving on my videos over the last couple of years. Quote, Neil Roger, Winston Shrout is right. He is so right. Dan Collins wrote, I'm interested in your credentials and the basis for your claims that everything Winston Shrout is doing is all bullshit. Please share. He continued, seems to me that you're making a broad assumption without citing specific legal terms to support your position. I'm not convinced. If you really pay attention and study the history of the U.S. and our legal system using Winston's books, lectures, along with cited references, your opinion might be different. Passing judgment without knowledge is reckless and misleading. I'll tell that to Shrout. Michel Rougier wrote, that's why he is out. Sorry, Michel, he was only out because he was out on bond until the date of the trial. Moving on. Shy Rodder 98 wrote, why is it ridiculous? Look up the definition of the legal fiction in Black's Law 8th edition and think about what you're saying. Soul Living wrote, your extreme lack of education and brainwashing is obvious with every word you speak. You offer an opinion with no knowledge of what you speak. You're either severely lacking in education and are fully brainwashed to the point you can't even conceptualize the possibility that you are, as you protect predators and pimps, meaning that either you don't have a clue that is actually what you are doing, or you're one of them. Which is it? Should you research, study, and open your mind to outside of the prefabricated box of programming and indoctrination, you may yet become a man, for you are a person for which Jesus will give no respect. Please stop posting until you take up the challenge. After a few years of study, you will remove this evidence of your incompetence. Scorch GD wrote, this is indeed a very interesting case. It appears that Winston has set up the crown to reveal truth in lending, no matter which way it goes. Kate Holland wrote, this guy has no idea what he is reading. He is unable to even pronounce most words and appears to have no idea what constitutes a corporation and how that affects a court case. This is a great example as to why it is so easy to indoctrinate the majority of society. There is an absence of any critical thought. Alex Morales wrote, how embarrassing this will be for the poster of this video when he realizes the final results of this case are in favor of Shrout. Foreign source responded, I bet you $1 trillion that he got convicted. So foreign source is now a rich man. Starlight Truth Seeker wrote, I suggest you do some research. Shrout is 100% correct. Joseph Rothstein wrote, Doazic equals pussy. Carl Lentz wrote, giving Shrout some advice. If you want to play by the federal rules, why doesn't he evoke Rule 15 and deposition his accuser? My country is lost, wrote. Do you actually have anything better to do with your pathetic life? People lose in court from time to time. Why aren't you doing videos on everybody that loses in court? The court system is corrupt as fuck, but you probably work for that machine. You literally have nothing better to do with your time, and your mind is that washed, indoctrinated, and controlled that when people are trying to get out of this fucking craziness, you spend your time doing videos on it. Shoot yourself in the head, you loser piece of shit. He continued, whether or not something works is subjective, you idiot. Not all judges are created equal. Not all judges rule the same way. Some judges are perfectly happy railroading somebody who is doing the right thing. I say again, you really should shoot yourself in the fucking head if your life is that devoid of anything that you have time to spend time doing videos on the people that try to help their fellow man get out of the system that enslaves us all, you fucking idiot. You can castrate yourself while you're at it with a dull serrated knife. Looser, fuck, that was a week ago. But my country is lost brings up a good point. There is a good reason to do these videos. The people who might listen to Winston Shrout deserve a fair warning that the theories that Winston Shrout sells on his DVDs and on his seminars do not work. They have never worked for Winston Shrout. They have never worked for anybody who has listened to Winston Shrout and tried what he does. And the best example of this is Winston Shrout's own stepdaughter, who went to jail on after doing Winston Shrout stuff with 1099 OIDs. Winston Shrout put his own stepdaughter in jail with the bullshit that he teaches. This is the man that you people are defending. It is hard to it's impossible to know exactly how many people have lost their homes or gone into debt or ended up in jail because of the shit that Winston Shrout has taught. He has been doing this for almost 2 decades. He has screwed over so many people, all so they can make money off of DVDs, off of seminars, off blah blah blah. You know, Winston Shrout has harmed countless people with his bullshit, and it's the only thing that's sad about this is that they didn't put Winston Shrout in jail sooner. Please take Winston Shrout's conviction and sentencing as a warning. Do not listen to this crazy guy. You know, it's not just the legal stuff. The man talks about aliens and fairies and nonsense like that. This is not a person that you should be, you know, endangering your life by taking legal advice from. And yeah, Winston Shrout is 69 years old. This guilty verdict pretty much guarantees that Winston Shrout will die in jail, and frankly, he deserves it for all the damage and harm he's done to people over the years.